In this lesson, we're going to look at the last part of the title basically. So far you've been working out distances and speeds. The topic's called speed, distance and time. We haven't focused on time as much, so we're going to look at that in this lesson. So firstly, let's look at this example. Anne travels at a steady speed of 60 miles per hour. Her trip is a total distance of 300 miles. How long did the journey take? So what we're trying to do here, we're trying to think, well, if we do 60 miles in 1 hour, how many hours will 300 miles take? So how many 60s go into 300? So that's a divide, isn't it? So in order to do that, get rid of the 2 zeros, and it's the same as 30 divided by 6, and that's going to give you 5. So the journey time took 5 hours, 60 miles for every hour, so 5 hours to do 300 miles. Now that works for other calculations as well. To work out time, what you need to do is take the distance and divide it by the speed. So let's have a look at that. So distance divided by speed in this case. So we've got 27 divided by 3. Now 27 divided by 3 is 9. Now notice here the units are units of time. Now where do you get that from? Well, if you look at the speed, we've got meters per second. So the second unit is coming in here, and we apply that to our time. So we're going to apply that all the way down here and look at the end part of the speed to get the units of time. So 48 divided by 12 in the second example, well that's 4, but because it's in miles per hour, the speed, our time unit is hours. Again, 96 divided by 32, that's 3, but we're in kilometres per hour, so hours. A wee bit harder here, 24 divided by 16, so 24 divided by 16, well that comes out to be actually 1.5 hours. Now, what we tend to do is we leave time in hours and minutes, because you tend not to use that kind of idea, 1.5 hours, when you're giving a final answer. You would usually say 1 hour and a half or 1 hour and 30 minutes, but we'll come to that later on. At the moment it's okay to get the 1.5, but we like to give an answer in hours and minutes. And the last one, if you divide it, it comes to 2.25 hours. Again, not the way you would want to finish your answer off. That's a quarter of an hour, so it'll be 2 hours and 15 minutes. Okay, so from that, the formula we're going to look at is this. So this is the formula you can copy into your jotters. Time is equal to distance divided by speed. Put a wee box around it, a star around it, whatever you want to do. Choose the correct units in your answer. Change decimal hours to hours and minutes. And lay your work out neatly and tidily. Now, the layout of the stuff is exactly the same as before. You write your formula, put the numbers in, and then get your answer. Now this can be used in various cases. This is the SR-71 Blackbird. It was one of the fastest planes in the world. It was made, I think, in the 70s. It's a very old plane, doesn't look that. But its top speed was 2,200 miles per hour. And they used to test it out in the desert at a distance of 1,540 miles. Now you could work out how long it took to do that at that speed just by dividing them. Time is equal to distance over speed, so that divided by that. If you do that, the answer actually comes out as 0.7. I'm not going to do that with you, but I'll do this one. 0.7 hours, which is less than an hour to travel that distance. Ridiculous. But let's look at this one. So a hovercraft travels 28 miles at a speed of 16 miles per hour. How long did it take? Okay, so for setting it out, you would write your formula out. Time is distance over speed. I don't mind if you just use the letters. The distance in this case is 28 and the speed is 16. You can use a calculator here if you want, but the time there is 1.75 hours, but we would tend not to leave it like that. You need to try and learn the 0.75 part as 3/4 of an hour, and that would be 1 hour and 45 minutes. Alternatively, if it's a calculator paper or something, you can times by 60, the 0.75 times 60, or 3/4 of 60 is 45. That would give you the answer. But in time, if it's whole number hours, leave it here, but if it's got a decimal value, we always want hours and minutes. So just to kind of remind you of that again, I think I've done it in every lesson so far. So 15 minutes, that's 1/4 of an hour, that's written as 0.25. We'll be going kind of reversing almost, starting with 0.25, going to 15 minutes. 30 minutes is half an hour. That'd be 0.5. So again, if you end up with a 0.5, you want to write 30 minutes. And lastly, that's 3/4 of an hour. and 0.75. So we end up 0.75, we want to write 45 minutes. Okay, now this exercise, all I want you to do to start off is try question 1 and question 2. Now it's no calculator, it's just converting time to hours and minutes. So I'll give you an example for the first one. I would write 1 hour and 30 minutes. So try question 1 and question 2, pause the video, have a go, and then I'll read out the answers. Okay, hopefully you've tried those questions. They shouldn't be too difficult, hopefully, and I'll just read out the answers. Now I'm not going to reveal the answers, I'm just going to say them out. So A, 1 hour 30 minutes, B, 3 hours 30 minutes, C, 5 hours 15 minutes, D, 4 hours 45 minutes, E, 6 hours 30 minutes, F, 8 hours and 15 minutes, G, 3 hours and 30 minutes, H, 2 hours and 30 minutes, I, 4 hours and 15 minutes, J, 1 hour and 15 minutes, K, 2 hours and 45 minutes, and the last one, 45 minutes. Okay, question 2. What are these time in hours? Alright, so the first one is going to be 3.5 hours, B is going to be 2.25 hours, C, 5.75 hours, D, 1.25 hours, E, 6.5 hours, F, 4.5 hours, G, 1.75 hours, and the last one, 7.75 hours. What you need to try and do is fight the urge to write 3.3 or 2.15. Okay, last question for you to try in this section. If you have a go at these here, write the formula out, the numbers in, and then I'll go over the answers at the end. Remember to get your units from the end of the speed part. Okay, hopefully you've tried these questions. Let's go over the answers. So the first one is 3 divided by 3, so that's just 1 hour. B, we've got 3000 divided by 500, that's 6 hours from miles per hour. C, 200 divided by 10, that's 20. Now notice seconds because the speed was 10 meters per second. D, 240 divided by 30, that's 8 hours because it's kilometers per hour. E, 10 divided by 2, so that's 5 hours. F, 16 divided by 8, that's 2 hours. G, they've kind of swapped things round, it's 18 divided by 9, so that would be 2 hours. And the last one is 60 divided by 40, which is 1.5 hours. Now, I would convert that to 1 hour and 30 minutes.